tensions escalate in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict as a militant group hardens its stance amidst renewed Israeli airstrikes. The fragile ceasefire, initially hailed as a beacon of hope, hangs precariously in the balance, its future clouded by escalating violence and unwavering demands. 2 weeks ago, the first phase of the ceasefire agreement concluded, leaving behind a landscape marred by the unresolved issues of Israeli withdrawal from Gaza, the release of hostages held by Hamas, and the elusive promise of a definitive end to the protracted conflict. While a full-blown war has been averted, the uneasy peace is punctuated by the relentless drone of Israeli airstrikes, painting a grim picture of escalating tensions and causing the tragic deaths of dozens of Palestinian civilians. These attacks, a stark violation of the spirit, if not the letter of the agreement, have ignited a firestorm of outrage and condemnation internationally, further complicating already delicate negotiations. The stalled second phase of the agreement, pivotal for achieving a lasting peace, remains unimplemented due to Israel's refusal to meet the key conditions. The fate of the remaining hostages, a potent symbol of the conflict's human cost, hangs heavily in the air. Their release is inextricably linked to Israel's withdrawal from Gaza, a move deemed essential for restoring stability and preventing further escalation. This deadlock underscores the deep-seated mistrust and entrenched positions that have fueled this decades-long conflict. The absence of concrete progress threatens to unravel even the modest gains made during the first phase, pushing the parties further apart and increasing the risk of a catastrophic return to all-out war. Adding further fuel to the fire is Hamas's carefully worded offer regarding the release of Eden Alexander, a 21-year-old American-Israeli hostage. This offer, framed as a conditional release contingent upon Israel's full compliance with the January ceasefire agreement, has been swiftly rejected by the U.S. government. The U.S. administration accuses Hamas of employing stalling tactics by making what it deems to be impractical demands. This rejection, however, fails to address the underlying issue: the lack of reciprocal action from Israel. The U.S., while understandably concerned for its citizens' well-being, risks exacerbating the situation by failing to acknowledge the critical link between the hostages' release and Israel's adherence to its own commitments under the ceasefire agreement. This complex web of interconnected issues highlights the profound challenges facing mediators striving to forge a lasting peace. The hardening of Hamas's position, coupled with Israel's continued airstrikes, paints a bleak picture for the future. The international community finds itself walking a tightrope, navigating the delicate balance between condemning violence and urging both sides to return to the negotiating table. The absence of trust, the weight of historical grievances, and the deeply ingrained narratives of victimhood and culpability create formidable obstacles to a peaceful resolution. The coming weeks will be critical. The fate of the hostages, the future of Gaza, and the possibility of a wider regional conflict hinge on the decisions made by both sides. The international community must play a proactive role in urging a return to meaningful dialogue, emphasizing the necessity of reciprocal concessions and a commitment to upholding the terms of the existing agreement. Only through a concerted effort to address the underlying issues and rebuild trust can a sustainable peace be achieved, ending the cycle of violence and suffering that has plagued this region for far too long. The alternative, a return to full-scale conflict, is a prospect too grim to contemplate. The urgency for a peaceful resolution cannot be overstated.